The way Ikechi got on my nerve this episode, oh my God. If you can't take the heat, sir, then get out the kitchen. It's just that simple. If you can't take the heat, then get out the kitchen. Hey y'all, it's Chloe and we're back with another video. We are here to review Married at First Sight season 18 episode 8. The way these people worked on my nerve, we definitely got some things to get into. But before we do, I need a favor. If this is your first time here, sit back, relax, watch the video on through. And if you like what you see and you like what you hear, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before and you keep coming back and you still have not pressed the button, what are we doing? Because at this point, you love it here and I want you here. So just go ahead and press that subscribe button. If you are one of my lovely members or subscribers, hey y'all, how y'all doing? I'm doing okay, but we definitely got to get into this episode. So let's do it. I just want to start this review off saying that the way David talks bothers me so bad. All the in between the sentences is driving me crazy, okay? I've been trying my best to just like suck it up, but at this point, I feel like I just want him to be quiet. Like, I just can't deal with the way he talks, and it's really starting to bother me. Now that I got that off my chest, let's really get into this review. So Carla and Juan are getting ready for their housewarming. And Carla is just walking around staging the whole apartment. Meanwhile, Juan is down there scrubbing the toilets, okay? He is making sure that everything is clean so that when the people come, they can say they have the cleanest toilet they ever seen. Child, the way I was sitting there like, Juan... The way I was sitting there cracking up because Juan was really trying to get that house together, okay? And here go Carla just walking around with this sage, just saging the place and whatnot. Paying him no mind whatsoever. Then he comes out to put on his little toga and he is struggling. I mean, struggling to like figure it out. And Carla's just standing there like, I'm like, girl, help the man. He needs some help, some assistance, some feedback, some something. She's just standing there staring. I started getting annoyed with Carla. Because, girl, this was your perfect opportunity to go over there and touch on your husband since you need all this affection. So MM and Ikechi are getting ready for their housewarming / fiesta. And when MM is talking to Ikechi, he is literally looking at her in disgust. Like, he just looks disgusted by her. So while she's talking about how she catered some tacos, and he like, oh, I could have made the tacos. She's like, well, then you wanted to make the tacos. You could still make the tacos. No, I mean, I'm just saying I could have. But do you want to make the tacos? Ikechi, why even go through all of that if you don't want to make the tacos? Then you got the nerve to be like, let me be quiet before I talk myself into making some tacos. Either you want to make the tacos or you don't. But what you are doing is annoying AF. Because what is the purpose? You're just mad because she took the time to make sure that everything was good and you sat back and probably did absolutely nothing. If you wanted to be included, then maybe you should have said something. If you wanted to make the tacos, then maybe you should have did it. Are you jealous because she could afford to get it catered instead of just making the tacos like you suggested? The way I would have been like, make the tacos then. Make the tacos then, since you're going to sit here and make a big thing over it. Because the way he's going back and forth over some damn tacos really pissed me off. This man works my everlasting nerve. First of all, he's fake. He's sassy and he's a gaslighter. Why even go through that whole taco process knowing you didn't want to make no damn tacos? I'm just going to say this. It's not going to help sell your book. The way you are showing up, Ikechi, it's not going to help sell your book. Michelle and David getting ready for their housewarming. They still in this house not talking, right? So David leaves her a note because this is how he chooses to communicate with her because obviously talking isn't really working. He feels the type of way because she didn't text him like, I got you, have a good day, none of the things are the things. So she feels like he's calling her out. So she decides to call him out on the fact that he stayed out last night and didn't tell her that he wasn't coming home or where he was at or who he was with. I said, oh, y'all really doing this tit for tat situation. But we got bigger questions that need to be answered because David, where were you, sir? Who was you with, sir? He feels like it's a dead end with Michelle. I mean, I get it. I totally get it. But you not coming home and not communicating that It's definitely a big deal. It's definitely a big deal. You're just lucky Michelle doesn't care enough to ask you any follow-up questions. Because the way I would have been all down your throat and your back about where you was at and who you was with, baby, they would have had to make that episode solely about me and you. Because I wasn't going to let it go until I know exactly where you was and who you was with. Because I'm not an Allen, baby. You're not going to tell me that you just fell asleep at your friend's house on the couch. Okay? Okay. So Madison and Allen go to this like workout class. Baby, the way they was doing this, I said, now I see why Madison's arm is so strong. Joshy, going. Let me tell you something. I appreciate the fact that Allen is really, really trying. He's put in the effort. He was struggling through that workout, but he did it. But it's also a good change. I like the fact that he told Madison that he appreciates her, challenging him and, making him change for the better. He appreciates that. And that's good, right? So when he turned around and told her, like, I love all of this, but I also value quality time. He told her that he likes to do things just with her, just chilling, just relaxing, just enjoying each other's presence. Everything don't have to be an activity. You think Madison understood that? No, immediately no. Because later on in this episode, she's talking about I just want him to speak up and tell him what he needs from me. He clearly is telling you right now in this moment that he needs quality time with you. So Thomas and Camille go to Thomas' brother's house and their families come over for a pool party. So I'm like, wow, Camille's finally going to be able to tell if Thomas is black enough for her because she's going to be around the family and the friends. And then she can really see if he's giving black. They're sitting around a pool. They're talking about what they know about each other. Come to find out, they actually know each other pretty well, meaning that they are talking about their likes and dislikes, right? Camille's favorite color is yellow, and I love that for her because that's my favorite color. But I don't like Camille, so I'm going to need her to pick a new one. So in true Married at First Sight fashion, Camille's sister decided that she wanted to bring up the fact that Thomas isn't normally Camille's type. She usually goes for darker tone guys. Then Camille said that she usually goes for the guys who are loud and showboaty. Yeah, I kind of figured that. You go for the flossers. I feel like Camille want her a drug dealer so bad. Like, Camille, if you want a drug dealer, just say that. You know Married at First Sight wasn't going to give you no hood ninja from the hood. Because at this point, that's what I feel like you want. That's exactly what I feel like you want. And obviously, it hasn't been working. Just like Thomas' brother's wife was like, and that hasn't been working for you, and it hasn't. But you don't want to see that, though. You don't want to see that. He's just not what you want surface level, right? Forget the fact that the man's a good guy, caring, understanding. Forget all of that. Camille is on her last string with me. She is on her last string with me. Somebody in my comments said, Camille said, if his status ain't hood, I ain't checking for him. Better be street if you're looking at me. Exactly. That's exactly what she want. A hood ninja. So Camille asked his family, how is she different from the girls that he normally dates? And the things that they said were not surface, okay? They said that she seems more genuine. And she seems like the person who doesn't want anything from him and doesn't want to try to change him and make him into someone else. Oh, y'all don't know the Camille we know. Because that's exactly what Camille wants to do. Because if she could, she would, but she can't. Because Thomas is very strong in who he is. Yes, he's willing to adjust some things, but he just can't be that type of black man that she wants. And I hate that they really think that she doesn't want to change him. I know Camille keeps saying she doesn't want to, but she does. She really does. If she could, she would just swap him out, but she can't. So she's trying to deal with it. I really hope she comes around. I really hope she comes around because I'm not saying that Thomas is a perfect guy by any means, right? But I definitely feel like the reasons why she doesn't like Thomas doesn't add up for me. So, of course, they start asking the questions that everybody want to know. Have they had sex? Are they hunching? Are they getting it on? And, of course, they're not, okay? Camille said that she wants to have more conversations. She wants to communicate more so that they can build an emotional connection, and then it can lead to a physical connection. I'm with it. I'm all fine with really getting to know the person you with before you open up your body. Your body, your choice. So of course they split up to go talk to each other, friends and family. And Camille friends asked Thomas how he feels about, her thinking they have cultural differences. Thomas said, I really don't feel a way because I don't feel like we do. And I'm like, I don't feel like y'all do either. So he's not really concerned about it. Thomas is just as lost as us, okay? Thomas is really trying to figure out what she mean by cultural differences. So I'm glad that his family asked her what she meant by it. And she said, he was telling her about bars that he went to, and those bars had racial incidents, and she just really wants him to tap into it. What do you want Thomas to do? Stand outside protesting? You want him to write an email? You want him to make a Facebook post? I'm just trying to figure out what you want him to do. You want him not to go back there anymore? Is that what's bothering you? Because this still isn't giving me cultural differences to the point where you feel like he's just not black enough. I could understand you may want him to be like, you know what? I decided not to go there anymore because of the incidents that happened. Just say that to him. Just say that to him so that he can recognize it. He's probably not even paying attention to the fact that they have racial incidents. He probably don't even know about the racial incidents. And did you tell him that? Absolutely not. Instead, you just want to walk around and keep talking about how he's not black enough. He's not black enough. You in an interracial relationship. And Camille, you are working on my everlasting nerve. I told you 2 episodes ago that I don't want to hear about it anymore. And here we are on episode 8, still talking about it. If this is going to be the only issue between you guys, hang it up and call it a day. If you can't get over it, hang it up and call it a day. Because at the end of the day got to end. And I'm tired of hearing it. But I didn't like that, Thomas' brother was like, I like that you pushes him. Because he really needs somebody to push him. Because if you don't push him, he will be stagnant. Now that right there is a reason to, second guess some stuff. That right there should be a concern to you as Camille. I would be fine if you felt like you needed to push and challenge Thomas. That would be a perfectly good reason to have some concerns. But the fact that the man goes to the bar that he probably doesn't even know have racial incidents, at this point is getting old. So now it's time for Juan and Carla's housewarming / toga party. And Juan finally got that little toga together. Okay, I like that. I'm like, come on, Juan, with the body out. Do what you got to do or whatnot, okay? They friends come over and they start talking about, how were they adjusting after the honeymoon. And of course, they have to talk about how they are not communicating well. And it's starting to show. The cracks in Juan and Carla are really starting to show this episode. So when they separated, of course, to go talk to each other, friends and family, I knew that Carla's friend meant business, okay? Juan said, would you like to take a seat? And she was like, no, I'd rather stand. I said, oh, she got some things to get off her chest. She's been waiting for this conversation. So her friend asked Juan, what's the biggest piece you feel is missing between you and Carla? So Juan said communication. Like, I need her to speak up and tell me what she wants and what she needs because I'm not a mind reader. I feel like Juan has been saying this over and over and over. And instead of, Carla just communicating, she gets passive aggressive. She gets spiteful. And that's not healthy in a relationship. So now I'm like, so I thought in y'all little notebook, remember on the after party, they was talking about the notebook that they had and how they write down things so that they can resolve it and hold each other accountable. Are y'all actually using the tools that y'all have? Or are y'all just waving it in our face so that it looks good? Which one? Because at this point, what's the point in the notebook if y'all not going to use it? So Juan asked her, like, is there anything that I should know about Carla? She said, Carla is very independent and she does a lot of things for herself. So she appreciates the little things. So then her friend was like, do you compliment her a lot? And Juan was like, I do, but I feel like I could do better. I feel like I could do more. And it hit me right then. Remember on After Party, I told y'all that Juan said that, he shows Carla he's attracted to her by cooking and cleaning. And I was like, that's not enough. It's not enough. Because even her friend said that Carla likes affection. You don't have to be having sex with someone to show them affection. Hold her hand, grab her booty, put your arm around her waist, give her a hug, do something that shows this woman that you desire her or is attracted to her in some type of way. Cooking and cleaning is not doing it. You have to cook, you have to clean. Yes, we appreciate when you make those gestures, but that is not you showing me that you're attracted to me. That is not showing me that you desire me. That is not showing me that you want me. Her friend said that Carla would like for him to focus some of his attention on her. Juan said, well, he got 2 started up businesses and he go to the gym every day and he just don't see, you know how he could have time. Excuse me, Juan. Why did you come up here to marry? Why did you come up here to find a wife? If you are not willing to make time for her, choosing to make time for her, why did you come up here to find a wife? You got 2 started up businesses and you're going to the gym every day. Good for you. But if you can't focus some of your time and attention on your wife, why did you come here? That is not a fair experience to Carla at all. She did not come up here to be your business partner, your inspiration, to hold you down while you build up your company, and she just met you. She has no investments in your business whatsoever for her to have to sit there and come second to any of that. If you feel like you need to focus all your attention and all your time on you and what you got going on, then you should have never came on Married at First Sight. I don't know, y'all. I feel like I was wrong. It's Juan. The problem is Juan. Now, I'm not saying Carla is good, because no. She's spiteful. She doesn't communicate well, and she passive aggressive. But Juan also is the problem. He is not putting in any effort whatsoever to show her that he actually likes her. What the actual F is going on? I really feel like on the honeymoon, when Carla started being spiteful, I think Juan got turned completely off. And at this point, he's shutting down from her. Because the switch up with these two happened fast. Really, really fast. But I'm not going to lie. Juan said Carla should have communicated that she needs more affection and stuff like that. I totally agree. I felt like she sent her friend there to do her dirty work. And instead of her just speaking up for herself, she let her friend come in there and basically low-key intimidate Juan just a little bit. So now we at David and Michelle's housewarming. So David told her friends that he knows there's some things that he has to change and he will change. But this has been a very rough experience for him. It's been rough for us too. It's been rough for us watching. We're tired. He told them that he needs some insight on what he should do. Does he even have a chance in this marriage? Tell me something, anything. Y'all should have just told that man he don't have a chance. Just tell him you don't have a chance. She's over it. Now, I don't know if my brain just didn't process what they was telling him, but it sounds like they told him to just take her to like nice restaurants so that she could let her guard down and open up. I don't even know if that's what happened because I started zoning out. I'm just so tired of Michelle and David because I feel like we're going around in circles and circles the same way with Thomas and Camille. It's the same conversation every single day. So her friend said, are you afraid that if you change all these things about you that you're going to lose yourself? And David was like, no, like the things that I'm changing are good things. I'm not changing for her. I'm changing for us. Yes. I don't understand why y'all think that man stopping smoking cigarettes is going to be like, oh, he's changing everything about himself. I don't know why thinking that man moving out of his mama's basement is going to be like, oh my God, he's losing his identity. Like, that's how surface some of these things are. Now, I know stopping to smoke cigarettes is hard, okay? But moving out don't sound like the hardest thing to me based on what his friend said, because his friend was telling Michelle that he can buy the house that he wants. He can get into the apartment that he wants. He's just choosing to save up his money so when he finds the right woman, he can do those things with her. So at this point, Michelle, how many times does it have to be stated to you that David can do the things that he wants to do? He just hasn't found the right person to do it with. I felt like his friend kind of clocked her tea a little bit because he's like, you're renting, right? So what's the difference between you renting and saving for the house in the condo that you want and him renting, living in his parents' basement and saving for the house and whatever he wants? Clock it. Now, the conditions of the basement, I can't say nothing about that. That's a whole nother conversation that we can have over and over and over again. But overall, it's the same-ish. I feel like, Michelle, just ask David how much money he make a year. Just ask him to see his bank account. So then maybe this can answer some of the questions you have. Then you will really be able to find out if he's financially stable enough to be in a relationship with you and to be able to afford a wife and a family. And then you can make your decision from there. But at this point, I'm tired of the judgment. I'm so tired of the judgment. But I do like the fact that her friends mentioned to David, how are you enhancing her life? Now, that's a question I feel like they should be asking each other. Because we do know that Michelle will help David, I guess, stop smoking cigarettes, maybe mature a little bit, dress a little better, experience different foods, things that he's not accustomed to. I can see all of that, right? So what would David do for Michelle? That's what she needs to be asking him. But this whole basement thing, we got to let it go at some point. It is what it is. So now it's time for MM and Ikechi's housewarming / fiesta. Did you make the tacos or not? You didn't? Okay, then shut up. Child, that conversation with them damn tacos really, really irked my nerves so bad just for him not to make it. But nonetheless, you can tell that he is bothered by MM's cousin. As soon as MM cousin comes into the house, his whole facial expression changed, body tensed up like, sir, you're intimidated, right? That's exactly what it's giving. You're intimidated. But nonetheless, they sit down, they start talking, right? So they start asking them, how has the experience been since they came from the honeymoon? And MM's telling them like how she came into this marriage 100% and she has no walls up whatsoever. She's giving him 100% of herself. So he said that she is, ambitious, and that's what he wanted, someone smart. He didn't want anyone fake. Oh, like you, sir? Because you definitely are fake, but go off. So her cousin asked them to describe each other in 5 words. Ikechi had to think about it. I mean, he had to really think about it. Like he couldn't even come up with a word off the top of his head, and then it finally hit him. Oh, she's beautiful. Very passionate. Ambitious. And a little aggressive. Now, when he said aggressive, I knew exactly what Ikechi was talking about when he said aggressive. I didn't have to think twice about what he meant when he said aggressive. It took me back to that scene where MM was in the bed taking her honey pack, trying to get that man to have sex with her. And he was turned over in the corner, acting like a scared puppy, being taken advantage of. Yeah, that's what it was. He doesn't like the advances that she makes at him. And that's because he doesn't want her and he's not physically attracted to her. She can be just as beautiful as he says she is, but he is not physically attracted to her. But instead of just, saying that, he decided to say, that's not what I meant. Y'all taking it out of context. What I'm saying is that, if she's really good at something, then I'm going to just let her take the lead. That's not what you mean, but I'm going to let you have it, sir. But everybody in that room know you want some BS. So then MM names the 5 things that she feels describes Ikechi. She said he's sweet, he's laid back, he's calm, he's creative, and what's the opposite of aggressive? They were like, nonchalant, and she was like, yes, nonchalant. He was like, I don't like the connotation of nonchalant. Then her cousin was like, and I don't like the connotation of aggressive. And he was like, but they didn't ask you, they asked me. Right then and there, party would have been over. Because, sir, you got some effing nerve to sit up there and call that woman aggressive and then get defensive because she said that you're nonchalant. Miss me with the BS. Ikechi really is showing his complete ass. So then things started to heat up a little bit, but Ikechi's brother-in-law tried to, calm it down a little bit. Like, aggressive isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's like they complement each other. Like they're opposites, and that's good because, that works out in relationships. So then MM cousin was like, I asked you if you could handle her. Because if you're so chill, then she has to be aggressive. Baby, the silence in the room. The silence in the room is all that I needed. You can see Ikechi getting upset. You could physically see him being emasculated, intimidated, and all the things of the things, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Put him in his effing place. was in her confessional and she was upset that he called her aggressive because she said that she has been doing the work and she came into this marriage 100% vulnerable. So to be called aggressive is like a slap in the face. I don't know if I will be able to get over that. Me personally, I don't know if I would be able to get over that. And yes, I do agree. We have to stop using this word aggressive, especially with Black women, because I have yet to hear it with Michelle, and she's been aggressive. Okay, if Ikechi would have just been honest and said he's not really attracted to how thirsty she is, I could accept that. But to call that woman aggressive and she has shown no signs of aggression towards you, ain't gonna fly. So when they separate to talk to each other's families, I really hate the fact that Ikechi's brother-in-law and sister are really trying to make it seem like him calling her aggressive is a good thing. Like, that bothered me to my core. Being called aggressive is really never a good thing. I feel like there's so many other words that we can use outside of aggressive, like intense. I would take intense. Yeah, I'll take intense. But aggressive? Nah. So cousin says to Ikechi, it sounds like you're boring. And Ikechi was like, I am boring. Don't be defensive, sir. You the one who said that you chill. You just want to come in the house and do nothing. You just so laid back. Don't be mad when somebody call it what it is. You're boring. They're trying to figure out what is he doing to progress this relationship. They like, are you guys going out? He's like, this is a different experience. Okay, that may be true, but you still need to go out. You still need to date. You still need to court. You still need to get to know each other. Just because y'all married now doesn't mean that it's time to be boring. This still works like a regular dating relationship, even though you're married. You're still strangers getting to know each other. They're like, have you guys talked about like health insurance, bank accounts and stuff like that? He's like, everybody doesn't think like that. What married people you know don't discuss these things? Whether you agree to have a shared bank account or not, whether you agree to put somebody on your health insurance or not, you still have the conversation. Then her cousin asked him, does he see himself falling in love with her? And he's like, It's an easy answer. Yes or no. The person you met so far, do you see that being someone you can be in love with? Absolutely not, because he called the girl a homie. And then he sat there and said he could see himself having fun with her in the future. She's the homie. He's so fake that he can't even hide it. He's trying, but it's definitely showing. His slip is showing. Between all his excuses and being defensive, I mean, I didn't like him before, but now I really don't like him. And then he said he does see himself falling in love, maybe. What the fuck what does that mean? What could that? My blood pressure, y'all. My blood pressure cannot handle Ikechi, because the way I want to grab him through the TV, he's just full of shit. He's full of it. It's always excuses. This isn't the normal process. This isn't a normal process. Yeah, but you signed up for this process. You have now been with this woman for a couple of weeks. You should be able to tell whether or not she is someone you can see yourself falling in love with. And the maybe is just not going to do it for me. But he had to let them know that he's here for her, not to please them. Get him off my screen. Get him off my screen. So Madison made breakfast for Alan, okay? And she comes in and brings it to him. And, you know, he's happy about this. And then she tells him that, you know, she's having a spy date with the girls and he got to get up out of there. Alan was like, wait, are you serious? And she was like, yeah. And then I was ready to, like, you know, go off on Madison, because I'm like, girl, he just said he need quality time and you ready to send him away so you can hang out with your friends. Girl. But then she said that his birthday is coming up and she wants to plan him a surprise birthday party. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, okay, because you was about to be all kinds of fake bitches. You definitely was. Okay. Thomas and Camille is now out with Camille's sister, still talking about whether he's black enough. And I'm tired of the conversation. But I will say that I appreciate the fact that her sister brought to his attention how black women experience the world differently. being black and being a woman is two strikes against us. And how he may have it a little bit easier because not only is he a man, he's also light-skinned. I do appreciate the awareness that they brought around the conversation, and maybe that's what Camille's trying to get him to understand. But at the end of the day, that's not what Camille is talking about when she's talking about cultural differences and he's not black enough. This all stems down to the fact that the man isn't a hood ninja, point blank period, and you can't tell me anything different. So it's time for Alan's surprise birthday party. They got the cute little card on the cake. I really enjoyed watching it because Alan was really surprised because he's never had a surprise birthday party. And I like that. I like that Madison put in some effort, even though we already know that she's a fake and a phony because she acts one way on camera and another way off. We know that already, but I still like the gesture that she made for him. And seeing Alan happy was really nice because he always just looks so sad behind the eyes. So when they separate to talk to each other's family and friends, Madison's family asked him, does he realize why they was matched? Alan had no problem listing all the things that he liked about her. He said it with ease, okay? He just said that, the only thing that he's concerned about is that she lives a fast-paced life and he's slower. And he's just concerned that she doesn't want to have those days where they just are slow together. She always wants to be on the go, 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 go. And for him, quality time is a big thing. Madison's telling his friends that she wants to feel like they're compatible at the core and that Alan hasn't been giving her any feedback. Can we go back to when y'all was at the workout? When he said that he wants quality time with you. He has been giving you feedback. You are just not listening to understand. You only want him to change for you. And instead of listening to what he's actually telling you he wants from you, you just making up in your mind that he's not giving you any feedback when he is. Just because it's not being delivered how you think he should be delivering it does not mean it's not happening. The narrative that he's not sticking up for himself is crazy, Madison, because he literally is telling you, I want quality time. Alan says he feels like he always invites her places and to hang out with him, and she doesn't do the same for him. It's like she's moving like a single woman. Madison is living a double life. She doesn't want to invite you to hang out with her because she's cheating. She's cheating. It's that simple. So Alan's friends asked Madison, does she feel like this marriage will work? She says she can't really tell. They like, do you want it to work? She's like, of course I want it to work. Me and Alan have the same end goal. Let me just say this. If I wasn't watching the after party, I would be believing everything that Madison is saying. But because I'm watching and reviewing the after party, I know that Madison doesn't want this to work. She is really trying to play it up for the cameras the best way as possible so that people don't hate her. But we know that she's a liar. We've seen her lie like it wasn't nothing. So I don't believe anything Madison says. So David is cooking for Michelle. I said, okay, David, you're not like Nick. You know how to boil your water. Okay, this is actually one of those scenes where Michelle and David are getting along. And it's actually refreshing. And I'm sitting here like, maybe there is a little bit of hope. Maybe Michelle is starting to open up. Maybe listening to David's friends gave her a different perspective on how he probably is saving up so that he can have a future with his wife and children. Even though she clocked his tea just a little bit about the fact that he just wanted a blonde girl with blue eyes. And David was like, no, that's not all I wanted. I wanted someone kind and sweet. And I'm like, all the things Michelle is not displaying, but you're willing to put up with it because that's your preference, right? I feel like Michelle knows that he's more surface. And that may be one of the things that's also turning her off with him. But nonetheless, she enjoys his food. They're talking about his style. He says he wants to go do sushi again because he really had a good time. And that maybe she, could dress him. So I'm sitting here like, it may be this much hope. This much hope. But I'm not going to say that I didn't raise my eyebrow and she didn't raise her eyebrow when he said he was at the gym with Madison. You're staying out, not coming home, at the gym, working out with Madison. Madison is, not inviting Alan out anywhere, living like a single woman, doing the things that she want to do. Y'all see it. Y'all see it. So Juan and Carla are in bed debriefing over the housewarming, of course. And Carla said that, affection is really big for her. So she wants to ask Juan, how does he like to be loved? Juan is like, I'm an anxious guy. Like, if you notice, I cooked, I cleaned, I did these things because that's how, I've seen my mother show love. So that's how I, like to be shown love. And Carla's like, outside of all that, like outside of like how your mother was loved, what makes you feel loved in a relationship? And he's like, I'm an actions person. These two are either going to have to learn how to love each other the way they want to be loved or accept them the way they love. Carla wants affection and kisses and hugs and all the things of the things. Then Juan is going to have to put in an effort to give that to her, even if he's not affectionate. Does that mean that Carla may have to initiate it a little bit more? Maybe. As long as he's not rejecting her, it could work. If he wants actions and she has to, like cook dinner and clean up every now and then to show him, she appreciates him, then that's something that she will have to do. It could work, but they have to be willing to compromise and see it for what it is. I don't think Carla's processing that his love language is acts of service. Because to her, she can only feel like love. She could only feel like to show someone you love them is to touch them, feel them, because that's how she connects. They really need to put this in a little handy dandy notebook they got and decide whether or not this is something that they're able to work on and work through, or if they want someone who's just going to love them the way they want to be loved. So all the couples are playing flag football. Alan didn't show up because he was hungover and he didn't want to go. Unacceptable, Alan. Unacceptable. I feel like you knew that y'all was coming out today to play flag football, hungover or not, get yourself together and let's go. Madison had every right to be upset. Ikechi and strolling all late, but they made it. They made it. David and Madison, you could not tell them that this was not pro flag football. The way they were out there playing like this was a real game is crazy. Looked like they had fun. So, of course, the men split up, the women split up, because now they have to, gossip about their relationships. David feels like him and Michelle are in a better place, and Michelle feels like they are on the same page. I said for once we are getting somewhere with David and Michelle. How long is it going to last? I don't know, but I'll accept it for now. Carla said her relationship feels platonic. Like there's really no intimacy between them. She said that when they kiss each other, it's just like on the cheek. It feels like a friendship. And Juan agrees. He said he doesn't feel like they have organic chemistry. And Juan can't quite pinpoint exactly what it is because he knows that she's beautiful. He said he is attracted to her, but the chemistry just isn't there. And I already know what it is. Juan's turned off by Carla. The way she behaved during the honeymoon turned him off. That's the only thing that's standing out to me. Her being spiteful, passive aggressive, not really communicate how she feels, him always trying to have to like pull it out of her or her friends telling him what it is instead of hearing it straight from her mouth. I think he's just starting to be like over it. Ikechi's like, I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Like, I'm not really affectionate or anything like that. And then I'm thinking about y'all at the honeymoon when y'all was sitting on the couch all holding hands and hugged up and everything. You're not affectionate? You're not? Okay, sure. He says he's trying to speed the process up in his head because he knows they only have 8 weeks. Ikechi, you're full of shit. Excuse my language, but you're full of shit. So now MM is like, remember you guys seen us holding hands and hugged up and stuff like that? Come to find out, that's me being aggressive. The ladies was like, this whole process is aggressive. And I'm like, that's true. The whole process is very, very intense. And it made me think that by her saying, hugging up and holding hands, he calls that being aggressive, just stood out to me. Because it made me think that, does he feel like she's forcing him to hold hands? Does he feel like she's forcing him to hug her? Like, is the gestures he making, he feel forced to do? Or was it something organic? Or was it because he was faking? And now that he's tired of faking, he's over it and he doesn't want to touch her. And now because she's like, what happened? All of a sudden, it's becoming aggressive? See what happens when you come in on some BS? You can't keep up with it. Ikechi really thought that he was going to be able to come on Married at First Sight and pretend like he liked somebody for 8 weeks. He thought that this was going to give him the exposure and the promotion that he needed, as long as he could get through these 8 weeks. But he can't. He can only be a fraud, but so long. Not realizing that we was going to clock his T episode 1 with the love bombing and the book of love letters for his wife that he never gave her. Madison's turned off at the fact that Alan got drunk and couldn't pull himself together to come out here. And I stand 100% beside her on that. Be an adult. If you're going to go out and get drunk, handle your responsibilities the next day. Point blank, period. Whew, y'all. Married at First Sight is definitely giving what it's supposed to give this season. And I am thoroughly entertained and I am enjoying this season. Whether these couples make it or not, I mean, the entertainment factor is there for me. Okay, I don't feel like I'm struggling to watch or review, and that's always a good feeling because that means that I'm happy to talk to y'all about it. I thank you all for getting me to 10K. Thank you so much. Baby, we got a whole season ahead of us, so make sure you are strapped in because it's about to get crazy, okay? Make sure you leave your comments down below. Share with your friends. Like the video, and subscribe to the channel. With all that being said, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.